What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel here. I am Rob Bifo, and today we have another Hot Toys review, and this is the Bespin Leia. This was one of the pieces that I honestly can't explain what it is I like about it. I mean, it's a great figure, and it's a great looking figure. I've never really been interested in getting any of the other Leias other than the Return of the Jedi one that comes with Wicket. That one does come to mind. Like, I wouldn't mind having that one to have like a Jedi, Return of the Jedi, display feature with, Sidious and the throne room kind of scene, and then having, Han and all the Endor crew in like another little area. That sounds cool. But I never really had any other Leias on my radar other than that one. Then I saw this one. I don't know what it is about it. I don't know if it was just the red just caught my eye or what, but I always really loved this figure. And then my wife ended up surprising me with it, so at loss, here we are, and I get to actually do a review of it, because I do now have it. And now, the one issue with this is it has indeed inspired me to, much like I thought it'd be cool to have the whole Return of the Jedi set pieces as a part of the collection, now because I have this, I feel like I definitely need to do an Empire collection, so thanks, wife, for that, because I have the Empire Strikes Back Vader on the way, and then they have Bespin Luke coming, so I'm probably gonna have to get that. Lando's coming out like next month, so it's like, and they throw in a Han Solo there, I could complete the whole Bespin set. So we'll just have to see, but guys, we'll just that's enough of me just yabbering on about this. Let's actually get into the review and take a look at everything that this thing comes with. All right, guys, so first off, here we have your classic standard, black and gray Star Wars Hot Toys Sideshow, what have you. They all have the same kind of design. You do have the movie masterpiece banner coming along the side here with Leia. It reads Star Wars Princess Leia Bespin MMS 508, the movie masterpiece series number 508, 1/6 scale collectible figure. And then it comes over and says it on this side as well. On the back you have your typical credits, and that's pretty much it. A very standard Hot Toys box indeed. Once inside, the first thing you will notice, probably like me, other than this graphic here, which is a nice little graphic, again teasing with this Han Solo here that does not exist, so thank you, Hot Toys / Sideshow. And then here, the first thing, again, what you're gonna see is that he is really lacking the accessories. Now, that was the first thing that kind of took me aback with this one. It was like, wow, she really is like comes with borderline nothing, right? There's just a little, ball joints here, one pair of hands, additional pair of hands, and that's pretty much it. But I got to thinking about it, and I really don't know what else would come with this figure. Like, it's not like this was one that, she did any real action in. She was kind of just briefly in this, gown and dress in general in the movie. So I don't really know what else it would have came with. But that's the first thing I noticed was like, wow, she's really lacking. But you can see in the back here, she does come with a back plate, which was a nice touch. And I think the addition of the back plate was a very, very good thing, given the fact that she really doesn't come with a lot of accessories. But that's not really a fault of Hot Toys or Sideshow or anything like that, because again, I don't really know what else you would actually have come with her other than the pair of hands that she has or anything. Like maybe like R2-D2 or something. I don't know. That would have been cool if there was a deluxe version with like R2-D2. That's really all I can think of. But for now, let's get her out of the box and take a look at everything close up. Okay, guys, so here she is out of the box. And the first thing that we're going to go over here is this back plate. As you can see, this actually caught me by a bit of a surprise, because when you look at it, you can kind of see that it does have like a very nice finish to it. It's like nice and it's very crisp and clean. I really do like this back plate. But when you actually take it out, you see the backside first, and this is actually a foam piece. And by just the quality and like smoothness of the finish, I was expecting this to be a plastic piece. So they actually did a very good job on the, the mold and the press of this, styrofoam, just because again, it looks like plastic. So they did a really good job with that. I'm glad that it came with this, especially due to the lack of figures or the lack of accessories that this figure would come with. Again, not an issue for this particular figure, because again, what else is she going to come with? But as you can see, she does look pretty good with the backdrop behind her. So I will probably be displaying her with this behind. Other than that, you have your 2 additional hands here. Nothing too fancy here. The paint job and sculpt work is, pretty on point with typical Hot Toys quality here. It's nothing fantastic. I really don't know. This almost looks like it would be a blaster style hand, but again, she doesn't come with a blaster or anything. And I'm not really sure what else you would use with it. This one's just kind of an more open style hand. Paint looks good. Doesn't look and there's not a whole lot of detail to it or anything. The paint application's fine. You can see like kind of pigmentation in it here and there, but there's no wrinkles or veins or anything that would make it stand out by any means. Not that it needs to though, but just nothing really of note other than it's an extra set of hands. Now with the display base, you do actually get, and I was not aware of this, but you have 2 display options with it, because this is actually a sticker. So you have this kind of standard, albeit kind of boring, gray, this kind of metallic grate kind of setup here. So you could use it with this. You have your standard Star Wars metal backplate, Star Wars Princess Leia. And then the other interesting thing to note is that this backplate doesn't actually attach to anything. It just stands behind it. So due to the fact that it is foam, you might run into some issues with it kind of this. Oh, wow, it's magnetized. Look at that. You learn something new every day. See, I hadn't even messed with this yet. So there you go. There's a good note. They have a magnet running through the back plate here, right through there, and then it actually will clip to it. So that's a very nice touch. Very good job, Hot Toys. I was expecting you to just kind of have to lean this against the wall or something. But that being said, I think because it hangs over a little bit, you might be able to get away with not actually adhering the sticker and just kind of leaving it set here, and voila. Now you can just remove it if you want and keep it in there. It seems to rest pretty flat. So this is probably what I will do, is I do like the design and overall just kind of appeal of this white and gold backplate here. This white section, you can kind of see there, it almost has like a very like a marble kind of effect running through it. So I think this is a very nice and clean little base display for it, and it suits the outfit very well. Other than that, you have a standard crotch grabber that would simply just click on inside of here. And again, this will also help hold down this sticker so you don't actually have to adhere it if you don't want to, because that actually did keep it quite nice and snug, so you don't have to worry about being stuck with the other one. That's the one thing I didn't like about the Phantom Menace Darth Maul, is that it came with the sand sticker that you could put on the base, but it's an all or nothing. So I actually have another same style base, and that weird, it almost looks like a home plate from baseball, but it's in that shape, that kind of diamond shape. And I'm just going to put the sticker on that one and just forego having the nameplate on that one, just for if I want to display him on the speeder bike or anything like that. But that's a video for another time. Let's take a closer look at the figure itself, and as you can see here, has a very good likeness to Carrie Fisher, especially from like certain angles. That's one thing I've noticed with this. It's like sometimes when you're looking dead on, it might just be because she only had the one appearance in this outfit, and it's very brief in Empire. So maybe, just no one's quite used to. She looked different in this scene. I don't know what it was, but she did look different. So I don't know if like I'm thinking the likeness dead on isn't always there because it's not, or if it's just because we briefly see her in this like kind of scene. So like maybe we're not just used to how it looks. But you guys, let me know what you think, because every once in a while from dead on, I feel like it doesn't look like Carrie Fisher all that much. But then when you look at it like from the side, it's uncanny. Like this is like an uncanny resemblance to Carrie Fisher. It's a great likeness. One thing to note though is that her little like sideburn things here are separate sculpts, so you can move these. So be very careful, because you could easily break those off, and if it breaks off, it's such a small piece, you probably wouldn't even hear it hit the ground. So, I mean, if it did, you could always glue it back on, but that's kind of just on you. You can see here the very nice eyes, have this nice gloss. The ring lights even coming through on it really well. So they did an excellent job with that. The paint application on it is great. The hair is sculpted, which I quite like. I am not a huge fan of the real hair, quote unquote. They do have like a kind of a soft body here. This is a padded neck. You can kind of see it, as you can see right here. There's like a soft material here. So it's not just like a rock solid thing, but it only seems to be like around that upper portion. Her arms are just regular hard plastic arms. The hands are still like nothing too special. You can see a little bit of detailing around the knuckles, but nothing too crazy, just some standard hands. The one thing that I noticed too upon actually receiving this in person and then looking at the like promotional photos and even the picture of her on the box of this figure is the red is not as advertised. Like this red that's actually on the figure is much more of a dull kind of pale, like more of a burgundy kind of, and forgive me because I am like color deficient, so like I can't see the entire spectrum, but I can see the difference in shades. And the red that is on the like promotional photos and everything is far more of a candy apple kind of red, and I'll throw one up on screen right now. But this, like I said, it's more of a dull kind of pale red. You know, it's more of a burgundy. It's more rustic looking, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. That's just one thing I noticed is that it's nowhere near as bright as it was in the promotional photos. And then the feet here, as you can see, this is a separate shirt here. Pants are just elastic. There is no wire in this portion. So there's that. This is all one. This is like sewn together. So it's one thing. You can't remove this as it is fully attached by some thread to the shirt. So it is separate pieces, but they have kind of fused them together into one. There is not a wire running through the dress portion on the like inner panel here, but there is a wire on the bottom. So you can have this posing in kind of any way you want. And this is the dress itself. And I think it's a really pretty pattern, honestly. Like, I think it looks really good. It's very well done. It's well applied to the dress and everything. I think it creates a very nice look for the figure itself. And then you have some detailing here, some like pleated lines here, some stitching going through, black detailing on the collar, the braid. I think it looks great. Like, I'm a big fan of this figure, and I can't really explain why. Like, it's a fairly basic figure, only seen very briefly in all of the movies, but there's something about it that I just like, and I'm not entirely sure what it is. The feet, you can see here, are just on a standard ball joint, so they're just attached, so you have a decent range of motion here. And kind of, as you can see, you can sprain your ankle pretty good, so you can definitely move around a bit, but again, I don't really know what kind of action poses you're really going to be doing with her by any means. The paint application on the boots it's pretty good. I like it. It's kind of simple, just kind of a glossy, pinkish, red. It looks good. And then I guess the only other real thing to note is that there is this inner portion of the, like, I don't know if you want to call this a cape, robe, jacket, dress, what have you. There is an inner separate layer of the more thin red fabric that does create like a nice kind of effect to it, in my opinion. I like that touch there. I don't know if it would have been any better if it was actually like connected. I don't know if it serves any additional purpose and you get anything more out of it by it being separate other than just kind of an aesthetic of it kind of hanging there. But as you can see, you can move this bottom part around. Again, there's a wire. You have the design going all the way through. Well, before I forget, guys, so let's go over the mobility and range of motion that she has here really quickly. So we have her arms, which have your standard, I believe there's like a butterfly joint in there. She has very good range of motion in this outfit. As you can see, her arms go pretty high up without really any effort whatsoever. Bring her arms back down. They can go up to about fully extend out to there. You have a double joint in the elbow, so you have double bend. Standard just wrist ball joint here. You do have a bit of torso bend here, and this is padded section right here, so I don't know how much it will restrict you by any means. It seems to move like pretty freely. I don't know why you'd really have her in this kind of pose anyway, so I'm probably just going to have her standing kind of upright. We got her leg, comes kind of fully out and over. Standard there. As you can see, this outfit is not very restrictive at all. Comes up, and you have the same thing on the knees, double bend. Very, very posable figure. Kind of to really no effect though, because again, this is more of a, I don't know, to me, it's more of a museum style piece, not something you're going to really have in an action kind of pose, at least not one that I'm going to have in any sort of real action kind of pose. So, but I mean, does have your standard, pretty decent mobility here for most of your Hot Toys figures, especially ones that wear cloth outfits. Not very restrictive whatsoever. So if you want to have her in an action pose, by all means, you definitely can. But that's about it. But yeah, I really like this figure. I'm pretty happy with it. And again, I'm going to have to go through and I'm probably going to need to go get Lando because he's probably the only thing that actually truly matches this. Because he's got that kind of floral, pattern on his cape. And no one else really wears anything like this in the movies. So I'm probably going to have to get Lando just for that one purpose. And then again, that'll help fill out my Empire collection a little bit more. So at least have that going. But guys, after this, we'll get into some poses. I'll kind of give you all my final thoughts. And we will take it from there. All right, guys, so I have her up on the turntable here in a couple poses. I'm just going to give kind of my final thoughts, some pros and some cons about this Bespin Leia piece. For the most part, I'm going to go ahead and start the turntable here. But for the most part, I love this piece. Like, in all honesty, it's very simple. And I think in the end, its greatest weakness is also, or probably the best thing about it is also a weakness. All right, and that's kind of like the simplicity and more importantly, the uniqueness of it. All right, so the uniqueness of it in and of itself for a Star Wars figure alone, one, I think makes it great and makes it stand out. But on the other hand, it so doesn't really fit in with a lot of other, your typical Star Wars pieces, right? Like this was only used in the Bespin scene in Empire, so it's just a brief period. And the only person who really has an outfit that matches this is Lando with his like cape. It has a very similar like floral kind of abstract pattern to it. That's really the only thing that truly matches with this. And I kind of covered that during the unboxing process and as we were breaking everything down. So the one thing I'm very happy with that I think really makes this worth it, which kind of lends my my overall recommendation of this piece is the fact that it comes with that back piece. Because as you can see, this is kind of how I have her posed in my display case right now, in the exact pose with the back plate on. But you can see the back plate just adds a whole other dimension of, I don't, it's just a nice little piece. Had it not came with that back plate, I don't honestly know if I would recommend getting it because it just comes with essentially nothing after that. And that's no fault of the figure itself, because again, there's not really any accessories that would theoretically, should come with this piece at all. Like this, you know what I mean? Like there's nothing that should come with it. I mean, this is a perfect representation of Leia in that scene. So, I don't know. It'd be very expensive if it didn't have the back plate, so all you got was an extra pair of hands. Nothing really to pair it with, you know what I mean? So that's why I think the uniqueness alone is both its best quality and its greatest weakness. Other than that, though, I love the piece. I think it looks great. If you have Lando, it'll look good with Lando. So I'm thinking about getting Lando. I wasn't thinking about getting Lando until I got this piece. But in the end, I think I'm going to need that Lando. I think Lando will go great with it. Now, right here, too, I want to point out because you can see it really well here. This is kind of my only design detractor that I have with this piece. And as you can see right here, like this is all stitched down and this is all its own piece. But then right here, there's like 3 stitches right here. And then after that, you see these kind of like folds or presses on the cape itself. Now they're pretty much, it's wired on the bottom, so you can undo that and like flatten it out. But those lines, like where it's folded in, were pressed in. So it's almost like someone took an iron to it as it was on there and created the, the seam impression. So the downside with that is, as you can see on the left side and on the right side, they've kind of like, just due to the packaging, there's like a wrinkle in it. So it has completely unbound these, because it's supposed to have like a pleated effect. And mine completely doesn't have it anymore just because of the packaging process. So it's like a design. If the design looks really good, if it's fully pressed down, it gives a really nice effect. But as you can see, when it is not pressed down and it's all wrinkled out and the seams are no longer, tightly pressed, you just kind of bow out like crazy. It almost looks like she's got like a Kim K thing going on right now. Like that's what it looks like. But really, no, it's just her dress gown cape thing is too wrinkly. So I don't know too. It's such a thin material. I'm not a ironing expert or clothing fabric expert of any kind. So I don't know if I could feasibly even iron it to like kind of repress them. I don't know if I'd really want to risk doing that because this piece, at least it's on the back of her. So the way I have her posed with the back plate, you don't even notice it. So I mean, it's just kind of a thing that it's there, but that is like the only real detractor I would have with it. I mean, other than that, she stands up on her own, no fancy poses. She looks great. She stands up without a stand, just on her, her two little feet there. Stands up good. But I really love her like in that back plate with that back plate on. I think that's a fantastic looking. It's eye catching in the display case. The white pops like it looks great. I think they did a really good job with the back plate and the overall design and costuming of the character itself. So ultimately, I would definitely recommend it, especially if you're a Leia fan. So, because the only other Leia that I really had on my radar at all, as I mentioned, was the one that came with Wicket from Return of the Jedi. That had her in her Endor costume, because that one's a little bit more unique and it comes with another character. And I'm always, like I've said before, I'm always a fan of anything that comes with something. If it comes with a chair, I want it. If it comes with, a speeder bike, I want it. If it comes with a little throne, little stool thing, I want it, This little backplate, I didn't even know it was included in here when I first discovered it online and I was looking at the promo photos. I never even noticed it came with the backplate, so when I actually opened it and saw that in there, I was really surprised and I was like, well, awesome. Because the first thing I saw was, oh crap, there's only 2 hands. There's only 1 extra set of hands. Oh my god, she comes with nothing. And then I picked her up out of the package and I was like, oh cool, she's got a backplate? And I really liked that it's magnetic and it's styrofoam. So it's like super light. The magnet will always hold it. It looks really good. As you saw, it looked really, really good with the figure on it itself, in my opinion. So that'll pretty much do it for this review, guys. Let me know, what do you think about the Bespin Leia? Do you kind of agree with me in that its greatest, its best positive attribute is also its most glaring negative, in that it's such a unique looking Star Wars piece that there isn't something really that naturally pairs with it other than Lando. You know what I mean? Just costuming wise, because if you put that Leia up with Return of the Jedi Luke, it doesn't really go. I mean, and it's not even, part of the same movie. So, you know what I mean? It's just the overall design of it in general really only matches Lando. So that's definitely, like I said, it's made me want Lando. So stay tuned. Next week, guys, like every Wednesday, I'm going to have these reviews up. And I think next I will be going over Commander Cody here. This is a really cool piece. So it's either going to be the Commander Cody review next Wednesday or the solo Darth Maul. Haven't decided. Have not decided. So, but don't forget, every Monday we have our podcast that's Honest and Uneducated. You can submit topics and questions for us to address on the show just by emailing us at honestanduneducated@gmail.com. That's honestanduneducated@gmail.com. Now, guys, I think that pretty much covers it. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like all the content coming. Every Friday, we do some live streams, play some video games. We talk hot toys. I normally do like unboxings and previews on stream. And then like I'll upload like, I had last week I did the Leia I did the Leia one last week. So I did like the unboxing and preview just live on stream there for everybody. And then I did it before with I think Cody and Maul. I think I did that there too. So I've been doing that because I've been getting them in around just like kind of right around that same time, and it's a good time to, everyone gets a preview out of it. So yep, that's every Friday, normally around 8:30, 9 p.m. EST. We normally go for about 3-4 hours. So come check us out there. Like and subscribe. And Honest and Educated's out every Monday, and new review Wednesday. So that's pretty much it. I'm Rob Bifo, and until next time, guys, take care.